Here's the microphone. Okay. Good evening. How was your day? How was your agile day? Yeah. I introduced this speech with a song. We suggested the title of this speech, Baby, You Can Drive My Car. It's a very old song. And so we start by going in the past, okay? 30 years ago, today, our world was broken. And so my hope today is to break another world. And let's see if I will achieve this purpose by what I will tell you in this talk. 44 years ago, the Beatles published Rubber Soul, from which we took the track. The lyrics of the song starts like that. Ask a girl what she wanted to be. She said, baby, can't you see? I want to be famous, a star of the screen, but you can do something in between. This is kind of the same story that many companies, startups, new companies have. They want to be a star of the screen, and there is someone that can do something in between. And let's see what we are talking about in a while. What I will discuss in this talk is about true story, probably many true stories I observed during time, probably you observed during time. Of course, to protect the innocent, actual names of the companies involved, of the people involved will be hidden, okay? But any suggestion that this could be an existing organization and existing people is absolutely deliberate, okay? So feel free also to get your own companies and people that feel that have the same problems. So we are talking about a journey into innovation. So what happens when someone has great ideas and say, okay, we are going to have a shining, super cool app, something that no one thought about before us, and we are going to disrupt the market. We are having this kind of thing that no one will have. So we start with by making our homeworks. We make a business model canvas. Thanks, Daddy, for the money. In this case, Daddy can be the parent company that spin off the new company or whatever, or a venture capitalist, don't know. We have a vision, we have everything, we have completed our checklist, and so it's time to start working on the so-called MVP, okay? Minimum viable product. And by the way, there are a lot of discussion of what is a minimum viable product. And if we need to actually have a minimum valuable product or not, what we have to do? Well, don't know. Let's make some product, let's see. For someone, a minimum viable product is something that you can achieve in 1 year. Wow. For someone in 2 weeks. Wow. So, don't know. But when you start this kind of endeavor, it's just like landing in an unknown town. In this case, anyone knows what town is the one in this picture. And by the way, the planes never land there anymore since at least 10 years, probably more. Okay, this is Hong Kong. Anyway, the former airport of Hong Kong was in the middle of the town, and so the planes were actually flying across the skyscrapers. But you arrive in the airport, and you feel alone. I have to start making the MVP, great ideas, and I don't have developers. At this time, I think of Steve Ballmer calling for developers. Do you know the video of Steve Ballmer calling for developers. The CEO is like that. Who is gonna make my MVP? We need developers. I don't have developers. I cannot hire developers because, yes, thanks Daddy, we have the money. Not enough to hire them. Probably we need to do something different. And we need what I call the expert help. We need to find out the best developers, not just developers, the best developers that we can find. And so we ask developers, sorry, okay. And in this case, it's like when we arrive at the arrivals at the airport, and we know the destination. What we are going to do is just to, since we know the destination, but we don't know how to reach the destination, to jump on a taxi, okay? And when you start discussing with the expert, the taxi driver is your expert, is the expert of the new town that you don't know, and you rely on him to bring you to the destination, right? But you pick whatever taxi. Any taxi driver is an expert, more than you, because you are foreign to that town, and they know that town. And so you fix the destination, and the same applies when you discuss with your suppliers. You say, this is my goal, or probably it's not exactly the conversation you are having with your suppliers. This is what I want to be done, which is kind of different. These are the features that you need to implement. Again, very different. But there is a lot of room to discussion, and we nevertheless trust our supplier that will help us reach the destination, complete the MVP. And by the way, since he knows, since he is the expert, he is the technical expert, maybe he's developers or maybe designers, we might seem to be stuck in the traffic, okay? We don't move, but he says, no, we are moving. We have made this very complicated microservices architecture because you will need it to scale. Wait, I don't have any customer yet. But you will need it. Trust me, I'm the expert. Okay, I'm sure. So you will have to wait 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 1 month, 1 month and a half before I can show you something, because I have to set up all the architecture. Okay, I trust you. Go ahead, but we are still stuck in traffic. Different kind of traffic, okay? And we go on till we think we missed something, and we think that it's time to hire a new expert. Maybe on the same area or a new area. In this case, I had a company which I cannot disclose, which started from developers, and it was great. They hired the best developers. Actually, they hired a contractor that had the best developers. One of the developers, the main architect, has been named as one of the best 10 developers in his area in Italy, okay? And he is great. He's a great architect, but it's a developer. And they discovered that they missed the design part. Oh, let's hire the designers. And they have designers. Unfortunately, you cannot see that is Robert De Niro there, pretty upset. Then that is going to say that, trust me, okay? And the same, trust me. Oh, you need design. Now I will show you how user experience design has to be done. I will tell you this. It will take months, but we will have the greatest user experience in the world, and you will disrupt the market. Great, I'm learning, super cool. But then again, we are not making any progresses. And when you try to understand, to unveil the MVP and discover what's under the cover, you expected to find this, a super luxury room in the best hotel in Hong Kong with magnificent view on the bay, but you get there. This building is called Monster Building in Hong Kong. You might wonder why. It's actually pretty colorful, so I don't dislike it very much, but I don't see the interiors. Anyway, you are not where did you expect to be? Okay, you expected to be there, but you were there. So what happened? How did we get there? It's probably a matter of a few items. One problem is over-engineering. Over-engineering is not just the technical stuff. It's not just programmers that over-engineer solutions. Anyone try to tell you the best way to achieve your goals, but since you don't discuss really the goals, discuss features, there is a lot of room for them to over-engineer solutions because you are gonna need it. Hey, not now, but you will need it. Absolutely. You don't have any customers, but you will need an architecture that scales millions or billions of customers. You will be Netflix. Wait, I don't have any customer yet, okay? The second point is that we have different working models. Any agilist there? Any? Yes? Someone? Agilist? Here? No? Yes? No. Not a digital day. It's just like asking if there is a doctor. If at the Medicine Congress, I mean, it was a silly question, sorry. I apologize. If you are a supplier, you have your agile methodology, your agile approach, and you say, hey, yes, we are agile, we make Scrum, and we have 1 month sprint. And the customer say, yes, okay, thank you. I need to spec the product every 2 weeks. No, absolutely not. Scrum is 1 month for us, so we cannot change. Does it work? Can it work? Can someone suggest how to make it work? Is there anyone? Because I need the answer. And for sure, there is a lot of communication mismatch. People doesn't talk in the right way each other, okay? And by the way, besides those 4 points, we have another point that is very important. By the way, let me check one thing. I just forgot to tell you that you can put questions or answer to the question I made on Slido, but I forgot to show you the first slide that there was a code, so you will have to wait until the end of the sprint to know the code, so you have to stay there, and even if you get bored of what I'm saying. Anyway, customers and suppliers do not have the same goals. Me, as a customer, I want to have the best shiny product with billions of customers and that disrupt the market. As a supplier, I'm not sure I'm gonna have the same goal. I'm not having the goal of having millions of customers. I have one customer with that is money that is able to spend to build this product, and I'm happy to have this customer. I'm not really engaged in this unless I'm engaged in this. We have different goals. I have chargeability, I have to bill, I have to have my people allocated. I don't have the goal to make the best app in the world as a supplier. Anyway, can we avoid to be in the master building instead of in a luxury room in the best hotel of Hong Kong? Is there any way? Well, let's start from the first point. We need suppliers. We need the experts. We cannot have all the capacity we need inside the company. It's not like that. Many companies decide to outsource in the past, and they cannot recover like that, just like they were wearing the Thanos glove. that, by the way, would kill half of the population, so it would not be the case to use the Thanos glove, but they cannot, and they need experts more than they need the knowledge they do not have in-house to build something. Probably they do not have the time to build that knowledge in-house fast enough to be on the market. So they need to ask the expert. It's just like when you go to the doctor. You go to the doctor because you are asking for an expert. Then maybe you have the conversation I had with my doctor. With my doctor, doctor, I have a pain in the finger. Yes. Okay, let's start with a full body scan. Wait, I have a pain in the finger. Okay, blood analysis, and you get home with a pile of prescriptions, and you don't know why, but you need the expert. The alternative is to just search on Google, or as developers do on Stack Overflow, the solution you need. Maybe it works, maybe not. So the first thing is to align on goals. If your supplier doesn't align on your goals, is not willing to participate with you in creating the value you need in the goals, you are not gonna succeed. You have to check the contract. One conversation I had is with the development team was that I suggest you to change this approach because it's not effective for creating the thing that you are going to create. And they said me, okay, then we need to change the contract. Who? Because the contract was in the contract, there were rules that specified the responsibilities and who could take some decision and what was the structure of the teams. In that case, in the contract, there was a small clause that in which it was specified that component teams would be provided by the supplier. Component teams. Wow. No, we need cross-functional and so on. No, we need a platform team, and I wrote it in the contract, so we cannot change it. And simplicity is your best friend. One of the things that people misses and especially in the innovation arena is that you have to try out the simplest solution, which doesn't mean the quickest. The simplest solution that let you achieve the goal you want to achieve. Any feature you are going to achieve. Do you need 27 microservices to run this feature and test if it works? No. Do you need to design the bitmap of every screen of all the application before the developers can start? No. But someone thinks that should. But we didn't break the wall yet. And to break the wall, the true wall that there is between the customer and supplier, there is one last step that we have to do. That is change the conversation we have with our supplier. For instance, how many of you started arguing technical decisions of your supplier? I did it in this talk. I argued that microservices were useless, but it's pointless. There's no value in arguing. They're the expert. You are not the expert. Instead, there is another conversation that you should reduce because it doesn't bring any value in the product. If you continue discussing about money and deadlines instead of value, you are not adding value to your product. You are discussing about something that is very important, but it's not the most important thing that you have in the conversation. And I suggest for today one change, one question, one kind of conversation that you should have is how this will help me to achieve my goals. I'm asking what is worth, not how it costs, how much it costs. So what I care of is, will it help to achieve my goals or not? The same I can do to the doctor. Why should I make a full body scan for my finger if it explains me that it needs this kind of very expensive analysis? I can agree with him. Otherwise, it's pointless to have a full body scan. Okay, but there can be a reason, and I want to know which is the reason that this solution, this approach, can help me in achieving my product, my goals. At the same time, as a supplier, I could somehow change this question and ask myself how my solution will be helpful to achieve my customer goal. But if you don't align on goals, this question, again, is useless. Okay? You have to be ready to challenge your supplier with the right questions and expect to be challenged on your goals too. Okay? And you have to expect to be challenged while discussing about value, because you are the expert too. As a customer, there's no one better than you that know the business, the reason why, and why we are going to build that app, that shiny, super cool app that will disrupt the market. You have the business model in hand, not your supplier. And it doesn't matter who owns the steering wheel. It actually matters who drives, and who drives has to be the customer, not the supplier. In the end, of course, baby, my supplier, you can drive my car, I let you the key, and maybe I love you, and beep, 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 yeah, as the song that we heard before. If you want to get in touch and get more details on this topic and other topics, please suggest us on this page, on the meetup page of the company. I thank you for the moment. And any question, slido.com, and I will try to switch to Slido so that we can see if there is any question in the meanwhile. Thank you. By the way, I ask you to write the question because my ears do not work very well, so I cannot hear your question if you talk, so write, please. It's okay? Coffee break. Thank you so much.